Yu Menglong's death has now pulled in Yang Lanlan, the alleged illegitimate daughter of Xi Jinping. A USB drive loaded with classified secrets and whispers of trillions embezzled. Could this be why party elders are suddenly launching a probe into Xi himself? Amid a tidal wave of public anger, 20 billion clicks, Xi's regime is reeling after misjudging the fury over Yu Menglong's death. Cai Qi immediately triggered the strictest gag order since the COVID-19 pandemic. How far will this scandal spread, and how many powerful figures will be dragged into the light? Watch now on China Unfiltered. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. Yu Menglong's death reportedly involves Yang Lanlan. USB drive contained classified secrets. The sudden and brutal death of Chinese actor Yu Menglong has shocked audiences both inside and outside China, spiraling far beyond a mere celebrity tragedy into a storm of allegations that reach the very top of the Chinese Communist Party. Before diving into the details, it's important to note that the following information cannot be independently verified. We are sharing it as reported, and we invite you to listen carefully and draw your own conclusions. On September 21st, commentator Lao Deng revealed in a video on his channel that CCP leader Xi Jinping has been frantically working to erase every trace of information in Sydney about his alleged illegitimate daughter, Yang Lanlan, the 23-year-old Chinese woman who once made global headlines in Australia after crashing her million-dollar Rolls-Royce. Lao Deng said what Xi has sought to bury most are the details of her privileged background and her vast hidden wealth. Why the panic? According to Lao Deng, Xi's greatest vulnerability lies in the embezzlement of an estimated 2 trillion yuan, approximately $281.2 billion in military funds. And Yu Menglong, as it turns out, may have been an insider who knew far too much. The story goes that Yang Lanlan met Yu Menglong through her uncle Xi Jinping, and she fell in love with him at first sight. In her trust, she bared her secrets to Yu, making him privy to the Xi family's corruption and missing trillions. Yu secured the information on a mysterious USB drive, planning to use it as leverage to protect himself. But in the end, that very USB drive sealed his fate. Another commentator, Su Xiaohe, added disturbing details. He claimed Yu's death was directly tied to the Xi family, specifically to Yang Lanlan. The USB he possessed contained extremely sensitive information, possibly involving both Yang Lanlan and Xi Jinping's other daughter, Xi Mingzi. The CCP allegedly dispatched 6 people to retrieve it. When Yu realized he couldn't escape, he swallowed the USB. The operatives, under orders, said coldly, "Take this from his stomach, or the boss will be furious and will fail our mission." Although the Xi family reportedly didn't initially intend to kill him, the 6 agents extracted the USB and then threw Yu from a building. Yu was covered in severe injuries. In any normal criminal investigation, the perpetrators would have been quickly identified and prevented from leaving the country. Yet, astonishingly, all 6 left China unhindered. Su Xiaohe noted they must have had connections at the very top, because ordinary people in such a case would have been stopped at the border. Even more shocking, these 6 weren't children of officials, but figures from the entertainment industry, agents, directors, and actors. That fact suggests someone powerful was manipulating the industry itself, with a massive hand pulling the strings from behind the curtain. But why would an actor like Yu Menglong hold such critical secrets? He wasn't even an A-list star. The answer lies in a web of companies, suspicious registrations, and shocking business ties. Commentator Li Muyang pointed out that Yu was lured to a gathering by fellow actor Fan Shiqi, who allegedly captured him when he tried to escape and beat him brutally. Some even claim it was Fan who personally took the USB from Yu's abdomen. Both Yu and Fan, according to multiple accounts, were tools. Each had studios and shares in multiple companies, fronts for laundering money. Yu trusted Fan, believing him to be a fellow victim, but Fan gave in and became a willing accomplice, while Yu continued to resist. As I mentioned in the previous episode, let's move straight into this part. Yu Menglong and fellow actor Fan Shiqi, once contestants on the 2013 Happy Boys talent show, later registered a network of companies in Shandong spanning industries from medical devices to agriculture, and even military goods. Most notably, Yu filed a trademark that included weapons and explosives. Investigators say these businesses were likely fronts for money laundering tied to Xi Jinping, rumored illegitimate son of top CCP official Cai Qi. The discovery raises chilling questions about whether China's elite or their heirs are quietly entangled in arms smuggling. Experts warn that if Yu's USB drive is ever fully exposed, it could reveal secrets that shake the very core of Zhongnanhai. Meanwhile, investigative bloggers have unearthed more. Yu and Fan's companies, many co-owned, covered industries like medical devices. Some netizens speculated, does that connect to organ transplants? Could this be the real dark material inside the USB? The timing couldn't be more coincidental. On September 3, 2025, during China's military parade, Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin made shocking remarks about organ transplantation and the dream of living to 150 years. The CCP quickly censored the comments, deleting posts, but in doing so confirmed the regime's role in live organ harvesting. Yu's companies, tied to both arms and medical devices, suggest he may have held direct knowledge of organ harvesting and arms smuggling by China's elite. And all of it, every explosive secret, may have been stored on that fateful USB. Until now, we can say that the death of Yu Menglong is not just a personal tragedy. It may be the keyhole into a cavernous scandal reaching the highest levels of power. Behind this case lies a darkness deeper than anyone dares imagine. Secrets buried in Zhongnanhai itself. Trillion-yuan military fund embezzlement. Party elders investigate Xi Jinping. Amid reports that Xi Jinping has been fighting to bury evidence of embezzling 2 trillion yuan, commentator Su Xiaohe dropped more bombshell on September 22 in his video program. He revealed that a CCP central body, the so-called Ideological Coordination Leadership Group, had formed a special investigation team focused on Yang Lanlan, the mysterious Australian woman linked to Xi. The staggering amount under scrutiny, 1.1 trillion yuan, approximately 155 billion US dollars. Su asked the obvious question, how could such an astronomical sum have slipped out of China? According to his sources, the investigators have already mapped the money's path, and every yuan traced back to military funds. Part of it was funneled out directly under the military's budget, while the rest was laundered through the Belt and Road Initiative. Su went on to disclose that Zhang Yuxia, vice chairman of the Central Military Commission and effectively its most powerful figure, had called for a sweeping 5-year retrospective probe aimed squarely at Xi himself. Su said, Zhang has this mapped out in detail. The CMC now demands clarification of every single case of military funds misappropriated in the past 5 years. The 5 largest cases were all tied to Xi's family, concentrated in 3 hotspots: Thailand, Australia, and nearby Vanuatu in Africa, including, reportedly, the island nation of Mauritius. The story took a darker turn in late July. At 3:20 a.m. on July 26 in Sydney, Yang Lanlan was driving a $1 million Rolls-Royce against traffic when she slammed into a Mercedes. The crash left the Mercedes driver, George Plasaras, critically injured and likely facing permanent disability. Speaking to the Daily Mail on September 17, he said, I don't think I'll ever be able to work again. According to the Daily Mail, Yang is now awaiting a second court appearance on new charges that could see her sentenced to as much as 7 years in prison. Just weeks later, on August 30th, commentator Lao Deng, citing insider sources within the CCP, claimed that Yang Lanlan is in fact Xi Jinping's illegitimate daughter, born to Xi and Taining, the current vice chair of the National People's Congress, and chairwoman of the China Federation of Literary and Art Circles. Yet none of these revelations can be independently verified. We have also covered this case before, and we encourage viewers to revisit that earlier report on our channel. Xi Jinping's regime blindsided by public fury over Yu Menglong's death. On September 22nd, the X account New Heights wrote that Beijing seemed overwhelmed by the wave of outrage. It argued that the government had badly misread the so-called silent majority. Xi Jinping's administration has long relied on big data surveillance, convinced that people had grown numb and apathetic. But Yu Menglong's image, dedicated to volunteer teaching, donating to charities, and seen as clean and upright, struck a nerve with both the middle class and younger generations. In 2025, as the economy falters and unemployment soars, resentment over the entertainment industry's notorious hidden rules was already simmering. His death became a metaphor for ordinary people asking when it might be their turn. The anger only intensified as the story spread overseas. The fallout quickly went beyond what the authorities expected. It pierced the heart of the regime's common prosperity narrative. A celebrity who seemed glamorous on the surface, found dead in a murky accident. Online leaks pointed to the involvement of a senior official's illegitimate son, reportedly tied to Politburo Standing Committee member Cai Qi. That transformed the story from a supposed jump from a building into accusations of power sex deals, reviving bitter memories of scandals like the chained woman. Analysts warned the case could trigger a domino effect. If more scandals of this kind erupt, they said, the regime's legitimacy will face even deeper erosion, and that is precisely what the party fears most. Yu Menglong's death is not an ending, but a mirror, reflecting cracks in censorship and the tremors of an empire struggling to stay steady in a flood of information. Adding to the pressure, the X account news investigation reported that tens of thousands of Chinese netizens had swarmed the social media accounts of Donald Trump and other foreign political figures, urging international attention to what they described as Yu Menglong's torture and killing by 17 people. They demanded justice. More than 10 days later, public outrage shows no sign of fading. On the contrary, what many describe as the harshest internet purge in China's history has only fanned the flames. 20 billion clicks on the topic, by some unofficial estimates, stand as proof. Authorities now fear that the unrest could spill over into the upcoming October 1st National Day. Meanwhile, on September 22nd, the Cyberspace Administration announced a 2-month campaign against what it called maliciously stirring up negative emotions. The timing was no coincidence. The campaign neatly overlaps with the 4th plenum. At the center of it is Cai Qi, one of the party's most powerful enforcers of online censorship. Some believe Yu Menglong's death could become a political weapon wielded by rival factions against Cai Qi and even Xi Jinping himself. On the following day, according to the People's Paper, on September 23rd, the self-media outlet Nikon revealed that Cai Qi had issued oral orders from the central leadership down to local governments to silence netizens speaking out for Yu Menglong. The instructions were blunt. No one was allowed to discuss anything that could destabilize society. Most urgently, cadres were told to steer clear of rumors circulating in society that the recent death of a male entertainment figure was carried out on the orders of a senior official, with the aim of tarnishing the party's image. Leaders at every level were ordered to repeat this warning face-to-face, keep tight control over their staff, and enforce the 3 no's: no participation, no discussion, and no browsing online to watch the commotion. Any flare-ups had to be reported immediately. Violators, the notice warned, would be punished harshly, with both individuals and their supervisors held responsible. In severe cases, penalties would come down swiftly, strictly, and heavily under party discipline. Nikon called the move unprecedented and absurd, a playbook not seen since the pandemic years. Even a fool knows what such a notice means, it remarked, adding that by issuing the gag order, the party effectively confirmed internally what the internet has been whispering all along: this is no mere rumor. The case is just the tip of the iceberg in the party's authoritarian system. As public sentiment shifts, heavy-handed repression may drive people from online protest to real-world action. Whether that spark can shake the political order remains to be seen. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this analysis valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.